this is my review of My Hero Academia. Okay, so this episode was basically a bunch of different plot threads just kind of coming together all at once. So as I predicted, Yaoyoroshi, Todoroki, and Bakugo did not pass their exams. They failed their exams in the second half because they had a score lower than 50, as I predicted. And Deku did pass, as I also predicted, as well as almost everybody else important. Some of the students we didn't really get to know all that well passed, or maybe some of the students we didn't really get to know all that well failed. But either way, most of the 100 students that were in the final round passed. So now almost everybody there was a professional hero. And then Mara explains the reasoning behind why they did what they did. They explained that the reason they decided to do this was because All Might retired, so they need to kind of help fill the void to keep crime from getting out of control. So they're trying to get as many heroes certified as possible to try and fill the void that All Might left behind in society. And also points out that even if they didn't pass the first time, they have a chance to take a makeup exam after attending a course alongside the regular studies. So Yaoyoroshi, Todoroki, and Bakugo all pass. They're going to pass. They haven't passed yet. They're going to. They're all going to pass. They're all going to get a special training. They're all going to go through that and get their licensing exam at the end. So, yeah, they're eventually going to pass, but for the time being, they're not going to be getting their heroes licenses anytime soon. And I remember it coming really late in the manga. I don't remember what chapter, but I remember it comes a little bit later in the manga. It's like the current, whatever the chapter currently is, or something like that. It was a very recent chapter, so I can't imagine it coming along for at least a couple more seasons. Almost everybody passed except for a couple of people. And after finding out that he and Todoroki failed, Yaoyoroshi apologizes profusely to Todoroki, pointing out that it was his fault he failed. And Todoroki apologizes right back, pointing out that if they hadn't gotten off to a rocky start to begin with, none of this probably would have happened to them, and they both would have passed. They both could have been friends, they both could have passed, and then they wouldn't be in this situation. But they didn't get along to begin with, so now they're in this situation. And it's also should be noted that while Yaoyoroshi still doesn't like Todoroki, he is working on it. He is working on trying to be Todoroki's friend now, especially since Todoroki is a bit more accepting of him and willing to be his friend. So shortly after the announcement by Mara, the two part ways as acquaintances. Not necessarily friends, but they do like each other a little bit now. Also before they leave, Deku decides to ask one of the members of Shiketsu, their class rep, to actually ask them how Kami was able to do that cool technique where she was able to turn herself invisible and hide her presence. And the class rep, I forget his name, but the furry guy, he responds that he has no idea what Deku is talking about. And also points out that he actually doesn't know where Kami is, only that she went home, but also notes that she's been acting a little weird. Case in point, it's not actually Kami. It's revealed that it is instead Himiko Toga, who has been disguising herself as Kami this whole time, and that the quirk she was using in the entrance exams was actually Toga's quirk, not Kami's. Nobody actually knows this, but people are suspecting that there might be something off with Kami. It wasn't actually Kami in the entrance exam, in the licensing exams. It was Himiko Toga who was disguising herself as Kami. And so that's one hell of a plot twist. But yeah, she also managed to steal some of Deku's blood while they were fooling around in the licensing exam. So she got some of Deku's blood while they were fighting, and it's unknown what the implication of that actually is going to wind up being. But anyway, Deku decides to text a picture of his license to everybody that knew him, pointing out that there are a lot of people he wants to thank, mainly because they helped support him, and then he wound up doing it. So he wants to get all of his ducks in a row and make sure that everybody knows that he passed his exam. So, which is kind of an accomplishment, because he should brag about it. He has worked hard to get to this point, so he should definitely brag about it to all of his loved ones. Meanwhile, All Might and All For One decide to have a little bit of a chat. So, All For One is in a prison called Tauros, which is designed to hold the most diabolical of all the supervillains in the entire world, and is a place where not even the death penalty is good enough for them. So they're kind of held there for the rest of their lives. It's a lot worse than the death penalty. Let's put it that way. Tauros is a lot worse than getting the death penalty. But in any case, All Might and All For One have a chat at his cell. All Might tries to figure out what exactly All For One's motives seem to be, and All For One points out that they're basically the same. All Might wanted to be the world's greatest hero, so All For One wanted to be the world's greatest villain. And therefore, the two ideals were kind of polar opposites of one another, which I expected. And then All For One asks All Might how it's going now that All Might has retired, but All Might is told to keep it a secret from him, mainly because they're keeping him isolated from the news on purpose. But All For One has a bit of an active imagination and plays out more or less exactly what's going on. Everybody is trying to fill the void with All Might now having retired as a symbol of peace, and points out that there's going to eventually be a power struggle where heroes and villains are eventually just going to try and fill the void All Might left behind, and there's some pretty dangerous implications with that. But yeah, All For One basically predicts exactly what's going on. And while All Might doesn't outright deny it, he does point out that he will try to point out that the future he envisions isn't going to pass. At which point he heads home, and gets the text from Deku. So, yay. He knows that Deku passed now, so that's good. But anyway, as everybody is trying to get back on their regular schedule after now having passed their licensing exams, Bakugo actually approaches Deku and tells them that they need to have a talk about his quirk, and tells them to meet him later that night, which Deku accepts. So eventually Bakugo leads Deku to Ground Beta, which is where they actually first fought in the entire series, way back in Season 1, where they first fought one another after Deku gained his quirk. So yeah, Deku has come a long way since then, but this is a meaningful place for Bakugo, because this is where his life kind of started to spiral out of control for him. So at which point, after arriving, he begins to spout exactly what's been going through his mind. How Deku kind of just gained a quirk out of nowhere, and that also begins having deduced the connection between All Might and All For One, as well as the connection between All Might and Deku, and also realizes that Deku must have gained All Might's quirk at some point and didn't realize it. And sure enough, points out that since then, Deku has been getting stronger and stronger, eventually surpassing Bakugo. So yeah, to say Bakugo's upset is kind of an understatement. Bakugo asks Deku if all of what he said is true, and while Deku doesn't quite give him a straight answer, his answer is enough to confirm what Bakugo has actually said. So Bakugo points out that he wants to fight Deku to try and try to settle things between them. Although the preview states that neither of them is really going to win this fight. The idea they're kind of fighting to just see who's better. That's really it. They're trying to sell things between the two of them once and for all. So they're trying to patch up all their messes and mishaps and all that, so that they can actually move on and grow as people. So yeah, there's not going to be a winner to the next fight, because they're both fighting for the sake of their own ideologies, but their ideologies are the exact same thing. They both want to be All Mights. So it's really not going to work the same way other fights do. They both want to be All Might, and they're both fighting to see who's more worthy of a succeeding All Might. That's basically what's going on here. There's nothing to be gained here. They both want to be the next All Might, and now they're going to be fighting over it. So nobody is really going to win or lose, since they both admire All Might and both want to actually grow up to surpass him, which isn't hard since he's kind of retired now. But yeah, this episode overall just brought a lot of plot points together and is going to button things up in the last couple of episodes of the season. And then we're going to move on to season 4, which has been airing for the past I don't know how long, and we're going to be working on that. So, if you guys have indeed seen this episode of My Hero Academia and enjoyed my review of it, what did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!